Hello, my friends, and welcome to episode number 10 Trusting Yourself. All right, let me start with a story because when it comes to us as women trusting ourselves, this is key to everything. This is the secret sauce. Many lifetimes ago in a whole other universe, I worked in film and I was in the lighting department. So I would help make everybody look fabulous. And this one time I was working on a show. The show had started and I was going to be joining the show a week late. And I was new to the crew. We always usually have new crews. And so I was looking to make a good impression because my boss had said, yeah, this girl's really good. You want her on your crew. And most of the people in the lighting department, as a matter of fact, all the people in the lighting department were men. And I was the only woman. And so I came in a week late and I was ready to show my stuff, do my thing. And we had to take a genie lift off of the truck. Anytime we need any equipment, it comes off of a 40-foot truck. And so my job was to operate the lift up and down. And the genie lift it's like a man lift. Like you can move it anywhere and it'll go up 30 feet in the air and you can bring it back down. You can move it anywhere, put lights on it, all that kind of fun stuff. And so I'm all there. Hey, how can I help? And somebody handed me, and I remember this like it was yesterday, and it was probably 20 years ago, and I remember it like it was slow motion yesterday. The person handed me the controller and said, here, you can control the gate. Now, I had never used this gate before, and the guys had wheeled the genie lift on. Like, this thing is super heavy, and there was 2 or 3 guys who had wheeled it onto the deck, the gate, and now it was my turn to bring the gate down. But there wasn't just one button where the gate goes up and down. The gate goes up and down, but it also tilts up and it tilts down. It does many things, and I had never used this gate before, and I remember this, and I will remember this moment of my life until the day I die. It's not one of the better moments that I want to remember, but I can't forget it. It's like I'm instantly transported back there. There was a moment in time where I stopped, and I remember saying to myself, oh, I don't know what button to push, because I had never used the gate before, and the buttons were not clearly marked. And I didn't take the time to stop. I didn't take the time to ask. I didn't take the time to really look and go, oh, is that what that button does? I didn't take the time. But inside my body, inside my head, inside my heart, it was screaming, don't press any buttons. Don't press any buttons. Heather, stop. Don't do anything. And I didn't listen to it. I purposefully heard that and did it anyway. And you can guess where I'm going with this. You can guess what happened. I pressed the wrong button. And what happened was the gate tilted down. Instead of lowering, it tilted. The end tilted down. And now there's these guys holding on to this 1,000-pound genie lift, and it starts to move. And before I could flip the other button to go back up, it had started to fall off the lift, and the guys had to let go of it because they could not stop it. And as the genie lift was slowly falling off of the back of the truck, I couldn't do anything. I couldn't stop it. It was like time stood still. And it wasn't bad enough that the lift was falling off the back of the truck, but the sound van had parked right behind the tailgate, right behind the lift. And so it kind of broke its fall. The sound van, the front of it caught the genie and it smashed the front of the van. So I was horrified because now not only have I crushed the genie, wrecked the genie, or damaged the genie, the sound guy's van got crushed too. And it was horrible. I was horrified. I was in shock. Why didn't I just listen to that inner voice? Why didn't I just listen to my inner knowing? Why didn't I trust that what I was hearing from inside my body was legit? Why didn't I trust that? Now, the funnier part of the story is I was horrified with myself, and I thought, oh my God, I should just go home right now. And I wanted to crawl under a rock and die, but I didn't. One of the hardest things I've done is like stay in that space and take the heat from everybody. But what happened was people rallied behind me and people tried to make me feel better. And the sound guy came up to me and said, God, you know why I park my van there? Because I'm hoping one day something will fall off the truck and smash my truck. He was joking, but it was legit. It was true. Because we always would get into a thing about why he's parked so close to the tailgate because we can't take equipment on and off. So, and the gentleman who owned the lift, he was like a tough guy and he was kind to me. He told me a story about how when he did something like that and he was horrified. So he was trying to make me feel better. Like I'm going off on a tangent because like this is a side shoot because I was so overwhelmed with by how kind people were to me. But that's not what this story about. The story is about me not listening to my intuition. And as women, we do this all the time. We don't trust ourselves. We don't go within. We look outside of ourselves for the answers. We refer to others for answers about our bodies, about our happiness, and our purpose. One of my number one beliefs is that nature has all the answers. Like Mother Nature is a badass and she knows everything. And the beautiful part about this is that we are nature. We are a part of nature. Our bodies are a part of nature. And so when we really want to know how to fix something, we can listen in. We can listen in. When you look outside at nature, if you don't do anything with nature, nature just takes care of itself. It's always finding the balance. If this thing over here happens, nature adapts and it creates more of this. And so it's back into its state of flow. It's got too much of this, it'll get rid of some. Too much of that, it'll get rid of some. Not enough of this, it'll grow some more. It always balances itself out. And that's what we are. But we're never taught this skill in school. I honestly believe that listening to your intuition, learning how to trust and love yourself, that is a number one life skill. And this is what we should be learning in school. This would be so helpful to know at a young age that there is a place that we can go to for the answers anytime we want because it's us, it's inside. A good example of this is muscle testing. So sometimes when I work with clients, I'll do muscle testing. So muscle testing is our feedback loop, our alarm system. It's how our body knows when we should be in fight, flight, or freeze. And we can use that to ask ourselves questions for things going on inside our body that we don't maybe innately know that we know inside of our brain. So for example, when I do muscle testing, self-muscle testing, it looks like this. And when my muscles lock, on podcast, I'm linking my two fingers together. I'm making circles with my pointer and my thumb. And then I'm putting that inside my other pointer finger and my thumb, like a chain. And then when I pull on it, I forgot that I was on a podcast because I'm recording the video too. Sorry, guys. So when I link these together, and I say yes, and it's truthful, they lock, they won't break. But when I say no, they break like that. And because our body innately knows, our body knows. So we can do this for anything. We can do this for foods. We can do this for things we should be doing or places we should be going or anything, any answer we're looking for, we can trust our body. Muscle testing is one way to do it. The other way is to actually go within. Go inward and listen for the answer. Go inward and see what you can hear when you're silent and you're focused. Only on you, only on your knowing, only on that innate sense, that wisdom, that intuition, that intelligence that lives within us. You can find the answers there. Another way that our body gives us all the answers is when it has a feeling, any kind of emotion. is the language, any kind of feeling is the language of the body. The thoughts are the language of the brain, and the feelings and the emotions are the language of the body. So if we have like a knot in our stomach, that's feedback. That's our intuition. That's nature telling us. We just know the answer, but we choose not to listen. So when we hone these skills, we get to find these answers within ourselves and then trust the answer that we get. If I would have listened to my intuition, the second that it came up, I would have totally avoided that whole catastrophe. And I would have saved myself a whole lot of embarrassment and shame and all of that fun stuff. Everything happens for a reason, of course. But I knew the answer and I didn't listen, and then I did it anyway. So where in your life, as a midlife mama, as a woman who has been married, in a relationship, had jobs, created human beings in their bodies, raised human beings, is raising human beings, where are you giving up all of this to an outside source? Where are you not trusting what's going on in your body and thinking that somebody else knows what's better for you? Where are you doing that? And how can you take that power back for yourself? Because we do have the knowing and the answers, but we just don't trust what we hear. This is even more important when it comes to our bodies, I feel, because our bodies have all the answers. We just have to learn how to listen to our body, trust what we're hearing, trust what we're knowing. I mean, we have no problem doing this for our family. Okay, when Mama Bear mode kicks in, let's go. We have no problem telling our partners what to do all day, every day. We know what's best for them. We have no problem being the boss of our children. We know what's best for them. They couldn't possibly know better than we know. That's why it's so hard for us to let go, right? We just know. And we trust that when it comes to our kids. We never doubt it. We never question it. We trust it. We live off of it. It's what keeps us going. We're like, yes, I know what's best for you. I know what's best for you. Even though you don't think that I do know, I know. And let me tell you. Let me tell you what I think you should do. Let me tell you what I know to be true. Because we believe it so much that we just sell it. We sell it to them and they're buying it. But when it comes to our family and our kiddos, oh, we know. We trust. Like nobody knows more than we do as a mother. So when it comes to midlife, how can we tap into that for ourselves? Especially when it's time to turn our attention on ourselves and do something a little different. As our kids get older and they don't need us as much anymore, that's the time when we kind of wake up from our motherhood era and are like, oh, okay, now back to me. What do I do? Where was I? What was I doing before? And that won't be as relevant because you're a whole new person coming out the other side of raising kids. But you can really trust that you do know what your purpose is. You can really trust that you do know what your changing body needs. That's one of the biggest things for me that I've experienced in midlife, for my clients, for the women that I talk to, is the changes that happen in our physical body. You know what I'm talking about? And a lot of us don't talk about it because it just happens and we're like, ooh, what happened? How did I get like this? How did this happen? But when we talk about it, then we can solve for it. And if our bodies are genius and they always know the answers, it's happening for a reason. Our body is changing for a reason. We just have to trust that our body knows what it's doing and learn to listen for what it needs in order to support it on what it's doing and where it's at and how it's changing. Because there's nothing gone wrong It's just, how do we adapt? How do we go with it? How can we enhance it? How can we trust it? How can we listen to it? And that involves going in and really, really listening, getting out of our heads and going into our hearts, going into our bodies, and being curious about what we're feeling. What does that mean? If we're having a feeling, what is it trying to tell me? Get curious about it. I love getting curious about anything that I don't know, anything I'm trying to solve, something I'm trying to learn. Curiosity is always the best path. To find answers, get curious. Ask the questions. Be like a 5-year-old little kid. Ask 1,000 questions. Why? Really be curious with yourself. If there was no right or wrong answer, but there was just curiosity, what would that look like? And how can you tap into that inner knowing and trust it all the time? Believe in it all the time. Stop looking outside of yourself for the answers, but going even deeper inward. Because you can't just dip your toe in and go like, have a little peek and go, hello, is there an answer in there? No? Okay, I'm going to go outside. I'm going to ask somebody else about my body. I'm going to go outside. I'm going to ask somebody else what they think I should be doing, what they think I should be eating, what job they think I should be taking. And go inside and sit with it, with that passion and that fire. It's in there. It might take you a little bit to find it, but it is there. And it has all the answers. And it's brilliant. And it's intelligent and wise. It's all knowing if you can just tap into it and trust it. We know that we can do this. We do get answers, but we just question it. And so it's our time to take back our trust in ourselves, belief that we know what's best for us, that we do have the answers for our future, for our health, for our purpose, for our passion. We do know, we do. So before you go looking outside of yourself, make sure you've asked the expert. Make sure you've gone inward. Access your inner 8-ball. Access your inner Google, the place that has all the answers. But take your time with it. Really listen to your heart. You're always going to want to jump back into your brain, but listen to your heart. And always trust and believe in what you hear when you go inward. Always trust yourself. Thanks for listening, my friends. Always, always, always love and trust yourself first, and have an amazing day.